I am Sonia Cato Howard, and I am partnering with Kimmy McNeese, my business partner, and together we are doing E-Women. On Wednesday nights, I do a Facebook Live message at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and Kimmy comes on Thursday night at 9 p.m. And then every first and third Tuesday of each month, we do E-Women online. It's a meetup. And you can dial in on your phone or on your laptop and listen in and go a little deeper than what we're talking about here on the surface. Tonight I want to talk about, are you your sister's keepers? You know, all around us there are people who look really great on the outside, but on the inside they are hurting. In fact, they're on the edge. They're about to go over the edge. And we see them, we work with them, we go into the lunch break room with them, and we don't say anything to them. We don't even get to know them. I want to tell you about a story. I hope I get it right. It's from Focus on the Family, and I heard it a long time ago, so I'm going to try to get this right. So there was a little boy who was really sad, and he didn't really have any friends. And so one day he was getting off the bus, and it was a new kid that moved into the neighborhood. And so this kid said, "Hey, why don't you come over to my house so we can play some games?" So he went with the little boy, and he played some games, and they ate pizza, and they watched TV, and they just laughed. They had like the best time ever. And so this little boy, while leaving that friend's house, he decided, things weren't that bad. Well, of course, the person that was telling this story was a grown man, and he was a little boy. And what he shared was that he had already decided that he was going to kill himself that day. He was going to go home because he knew his parents was not at home, and he was going to kill himself. But when this new friend invited him to come over, he decided to go over and just see, and then he could just kill himself later. But he had such a great time that he thought, well, maybe tomorrow may not be maybe tomorrow will be a great day too. So, I'm just thankful that little boy made a friend. There are so many people that are around us who are right on the edge, and all they need is a friend. They just need somebody that cares, somebody that gets to know them. And they're everywhere. This also reminds me of a personal story of something that I kind of experienced. Well, I count, secondhand experience. And I was working at this company. It was a big, well-known company. And I got to work late. I actually was going to work. I got there late, like a couple of hours late. And I remember passing this flower. It's a huge flower pot that they have out on right on the sidewalk. And I noticed the flowers. I love flowers. And I noticed the flowers because it had like some water, some red stuff mixed in the water, and it was leaking from the flower. And I remember thinking, why is it wet in that one spot, and why is it red? And it just made me think about it. It caught my attention on the way in. So I got to the elevator, went upstairs, and when I turned the corner, my whole team was like, "Oh my God, Sonia, oh my God, we're so glad you're here. We thought it was you." And I'm like, "What happened? What happened?" And they was like, so basically, it's a guy that worked 2 rows over from where I sat. This guy came in very early, like he always did. He did some work. He waited for his girlfriend to come in because he knew what time she came in. He went downstairs to meet her, and they caught this on the video camera outside. They had like a argument, and she turned her back to go into the building, and he shot her in the back of the head 3 times. Shot her and killed her. So what I saw was someone had came out and watered down the blood, and that was a little bit of blood that was still there, what I saw. And so my team members thought that it was me. They just knew it was a woman that died. They knew who the guy was, but they didn't know who he killed. And so since I was late and I didn't call anybody, everybody thought it was me. So I was just devastated. The lady, what I was devastated about was the guy who sat 2 rows over. I didn't actually work with him, but all of the developers on my team, they worked with him. They knew him. I remember him because I'm the type of person, if I pass you in the hallway, I speak to everybody. Hey, how are you? Good morning. And so this guy in particular, I remembered that whenever I spoke to him, he never looked up. That's what I remembered about him. He never looked up. So this guy sat over there 2 rows away, and he brought the gun to work. He came upstairs with the gun. So he could have killed us all, right? Nobody knew what this guy was going through. And then the young lady, I didn't know her, but I always was on the elevator with her. So I remembered her, that I could never get her face out of my mind. So I was just crying, like bawling for the next couple of days, just bawling. And mostly, I think I was upset because nobody really knew this guy. Nobody knew that this guy, what he was going through. I don't know why my daughter decides to call every single time I get on this call. Does it every single time. I don't know why. I apologize for that. But anyway, so this guy, I was upset because this guy was 2 rows over and no one knew what he was going through. Nobody knew he was on the edge. And I always just wonder, oh my goodness, what if I had have done something? What if I could have done anything? And how bad it could have gone. It could have gone a lot worse. So, I know that you may be going through something right now, right? Everybody is always going through something. My pastor used to say, we either going through something, just came out of something, or getting ready to go into something, right? So everybody is going through something, but in spite of what you're going through, you still can help somebody else. You can still help somebody else. We are our sister's keepers, right? You should be able to recognize the symptoms and the signs of someone and something that is going wrong because you probably went through the same thing, right? Don't turn the other shoulder. Don't ignore it. There are people all around us who are going through things and nobody cares, right? If you see something and you recognize some symptoms of what you've gone through, you should be able to encourage that person. Say something to them. Help them. Point them in the right direction where they can get help. I don't know, maybe it's something that you went through and you found some support, but you should be able to point that person to something and not just ignore it, right? The reason why I want to help girls and women is because I recognize the symptoms. I recognize the signs of what they're doing. The way they dress, the way they need attention, the way they act around boys and men, the way they talk, right? That was me a long time ago. So I recognize it, right? So there are people that you should be able to recognize because you went through the same thing, and you should be able to recognize and help those people. Maybe you've been through depression. Maybe you've had a bad divorce, a death of a child, a death of a parent. A person that's been molested, I know y'all get so tired of me using that example, but a person that has been molested, they know how the person looks. They know what the person is going through. They know what a child looks like that's withdrawn, that's been through that. Don't let every child in the family get molested. Say something about it if you recognize it, if you see something. Do something about it. If you've been raped before, you can see the signs of somebody who's going through that. You should be able to recognize that in that person, and I hope that you will help them. You know, when you help other people, it makes you stronger. It shows that you have come some way. Not all the way, but you've come some way, and now you can help somebody else. It boosts your self-esteem. It also shows that God can still use you, even though you're still going through the struggle. If you can help somebody and keep them from going through the struggle or help them through it, please help them. You know, I wish that I could have said something to that young man. I think that's what I cried about the most. I wish I had befriended him. I wish I knew more about him. And maybe he would be here today. Maybe he and his girlfriend would be here today. You know, another thing that I wish I had done was I shared about my abortion experience, and I mentioned that my boyfriend's mom, she begged me to have that baby. Boy, she had a whole day to sit with me at the clinic, and she begged me the whole time, right? And I believe today the reason why she took so much time, not only was it her grandbaby, right, but that she took so much time to beg me and to talk me out of it is because she already knew what I was going to go through. She saw the symptoms. She saw what I was going through. She knew what was on the other side of having that abortion, right? So I wish I had listened to Cedric's mom. I wish I had. But I didn't. You know, my baby would be here today. But anyway, I want to encourage you. I want to challenge you to let God use you to help someone. Pay attention, listen, encourage them, offer help, offer some type of suggestions of what they can do. You never know what a person is going through if they're on the edge. You can make the difference of that person going down the good path or that person going down a bad path. And so I want to encourage you to do that. We are our sisters' keepers. Thanks for listening. Share it. Post it, repost it. Join Kimmy tomorrow, Thursday night, 9 p.m. First and third Tuesdays at 9 p.m. eWomen online. You don't have to live in Atlanta. And thanks again for watching. Bye.